So I was watching Winners of War these past few weeks, and I just had one question going through my mind, and why wasn't I invited? How I just don't understand how you can have a season called Winners at War and not have the only three-time winner on the show. Like, does that make sense to you? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, I guess I get it. I mean, me and Jeff never really saw eye to eye on like how the game should be played. We never really saw eye to eye on like what makes a good player. But even he must agree that someone who won when they were 18, 19, and 20, 18 when they had never even seen the show, never knew what it was, didn't even know the word survivor, honestly. Never been to an island, never really liked talking to people. How could they let someone who was that dominant, who won without getting a single vote cast against them, and who won unanimously, how could they let someone that dominant back onto the show? How could they do that? I get it. They were afraid that it would expose all the other winners. I get that. I totally understand. When you have someone who, when I got onto the island, right? When I first got onto the island when I was 18, remember this, I'm only 21. This happened just a few years ago, dude. Like, when I got onto the island, when I was only 18, I came on and said, look, I am going to win. If you want any shot of winning this season, you need to vote me out right now. I said that every time before we went to tribal council, every single time. I threw challenges because I wanted to say, even if I go to every tribal council, you will still not vote me out. I will still not go home. I mean, production just really did not want me. I mean, I guess they just really didn't want me to win. I mean, let me tell you something. There was a moment in, I think it was my second season, where it was clear that I was going to win unanimously. I had made the best bonds, the best relationships with everyone there. And production, here's what production does. You know how at the merge, that's generally when the jury starts? I think there were 10 people. No. It was like a really late merge. I think there was only like 7. Like we merged at like the final 8 or it was like the final 10. And so the jury only had like 7 people or something like that. And so what ended up happening was they tried to get all the people who were voted out pre-jury to vote too, because they didn't want me to win. So here's what they did. There were 3 people in final tribal. It was me and 2 other people, right? So here's what they did. They said, they went to the people pre-jury and they told them, I need you to vote for one of these 2 people. My name was not even included in those 2 people they could vote for. All right? Those people still voted for me. Like, how did that happen? Those people still voted for me. They didn't know my name. They didn't know who I was. Those people were on the other tribe. How did that even happen? We lost all of the... I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. They still voted for me. They didn't even know who I was. And I still won unanimously, even though production, this is why you don't trust production, they still, even though production tried to bury me, right? They just don't like me. Jeff doesn't like me. I don't like Jeff either, right? And here's why I don't like Jeff. Or actually, you know what? I don't really dislike Jeff. Jeff just doesn't like me. And here's why. On the I think it was the second night, we were supposed to do an immunity challenge as the team, right? But what I said was, I'm not going to do the challenge. I sat in the sand and just held sand, right? That's all I was doing. And Jeff was like, dude, you got to go to the challenge. I said, no. He said, yes. I said, no. And then he was like, fine, whatever. You're going to get voted out then. I promise you. And I said, I promise you I won't. And then we kept going. I didn't get voted out. I didn't get a single vote cast against me. So Jeff was mad. He kept grilling me with questions. He kept being like, hey, aren't you in an alliance with this person, blatantly trying to destroy my game. And I still didn't get any votes, bro. Jeff could not stop me, man. And look, when I was 20, I had already won twice by this point. Matter of fact, I had won so dominantly in my second season, right? They decided to give me $2 million instead of $1 million. Because they was like, I mean, we gotta give you credit for that. You convinced somebody to play an immunity idol on themselves, and it was a fake idol that they made. They knew it was fake, and they still tried to play it on themselves. How did they do that? I don't know. I don't know. I convinced them to do that. I convinced, they made, look. Here's what I did to someone else, right? They made a fake idol, right? They made a fake immunity idol. They made a fake immunity idol and they had a real one, right? I knew they had both. I convinced them to give me the real one while they kept the fake one. I convinced them that the fake one they made was real. Then I convinced them that the real one they had was fake. And then they gave me the real one and they tried to play the fake one to Jeff. How does that happen? And you trying to tell me that Kim is better? You trying to tell me that Rob is better? You trying to tell me that Tony is better? Earl or Todd? No. Come on now. I'm easily the best. Here's what I did. I was so good when I was on the island. Look, I was so good that when I stepped on, people wanted me to vote them out. Okay, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it really was like this. Okay, everyone would be gathered around the camp, around the fire, and then I would just point at someone and say, "You're going home next," and they would just be like, "Really?" And I would just be like, "Yeah, I'm sorry," and they would just be like, "Okay, that's cool," and that'd be that. So you know what? I get it now. I get why I wasn't invited back. It's because they knew I'd be so dominant, and they had to have, if they're gonna have a Winners at War season, it needs to be very exciting, very competitive, very entertaining. And they knew that if I'm on there, it's just going to be me steamrolling everyone else. And so, obviously, I couldn't be on. I don't even really fault them for that, right? What I do fault them for is the fact that they just completely covered up on my seasons. Okay, so you think there's 40 seasons of Survivor, right? 40 was season Winners at War, right? It's not, though. Look. When I was 18, 19, and 20, those years, right? There were 3 seasons of Survivor. 3, not 2, how there usually is. There were 3. They covered those seasons up. They deleted them. They deleted all the footage. They deleted it off CBS. I promise you. You ask somebody who was on my season, they will tell you. I dominated them. 100%. It was clear as day. But no one... This is why you can't trust the edit, because production has so much influence over it. Everyone loved me that season, but I promise you, if they aired the episodes again, I promise you 100%, they would make it seem like I was the villain. I promise you. I didn't lie to anybody. I didn't do anything villainous, at least not my first season, because I wanted to be a hero and a villain, so I could be an anti-hero or an anti-villain in my third season, or if they do a heroes versus villain season. But I understand now they're never going to invite me back because they know that I'm just going to steamroll any season that I'm on. So, I just wanted to let you all know that there's this huge conspiracy against me. I'm too dominant at the game. People want to talk about Tony. Oh man, Tony's such a strategic mastermind. But Tony won 2 times out of 3. I won 4 times out of 3. Clear as day. They gave me $2 million for a prize that was supposed to be $1 million because I was so dominant. You know what I mean? They had to get, people voted for me who never even saw my face. They voted for me and they didn't even know my name. They still knew what name to write on the card. It's disrespectful. But I hope you all understand now that this conspiracy's been going on, and I hope that you look into it. You do your research, and you just let them know I'm the best. It's that simple.